Last month, more than 8.2 million Americans missed a debt payment. Not because they forgot, not because they didn't try, because they looked at their bank account and there was simply nothing left. That number, 8.2 million people, is larger than the entire population of New York City. And it happened in a single 30-day window. Let me say that one more time, so it actually lands. But before we dive in, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I subscribe. And I'll personally welcome you into the family. With that said, let's get started. In 1 month, more people than live in the biggest city in America could not pay their bills. And the banks still sent the late notices. The landlords still filed the evictions. The credit bureaus still dropped the scores, some of them by 80, 90, even 110 points. Overnight. If you have ever stood in a grocery store and put something back because you were doing the math in your head, if you have ever let a call from an unknown number go to voicemail because you were afraid it was a collector, if you have ever lain awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling running numbers that don't add up, this video is for you. Because what is happening right now across the United States is not a story about bad decisions. It is not about people buying too many lattes or living beyond their means. It is about a financial system that is cracking at the foundation. And some U.S. states are not just struggling, they are collapsing fast. Today we are counting down the 5 states in the worst financial freefall in America right now. We have the data, we have the stories, and we have what you can actually do about it. Stay with me, because the number 1 state on this list is going to genuinely shock you. Section 2, the data nobody is talking about. Before we get to the states, you need to understand the scale of what is happening nationally, because the headlines keep talking about a strong economy, record stock markets, low unemployment, and all of that is technically true for some people. But underneath those headline numbers, a completely different story is being written. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Q1 2024, total U.S. household debt hit $17.69 trillion. Credit card delinquencies, payments 90 or more days overdue, climbed to 8.9%. That is the highest level since 2012. That was before student loan payments restarted at the end of 2023. When they did, delinquencies on student loans jumped 15% in a single quarter. Not because people stopped caring. Because millions of people sat down, did the math, and discovered that paying their student loan bill meant not eating or not paying rent, or not filling prescription. The knife also tracked what they call serious delinquency transitions, debt crossing the 90-day late threshold. That number rose 38% year over year. 38%. Auto loan delinquencies hit 7.9%, also a 12-year high. The average American is now carrying $6,501 in credit card debt, up 10% from the year before. Experian 2024. Now here is what the TV anchors are not telling you. When delinquency rates rise this fast, it does not just hurt the individual. It starts to hollow out state economies. Tax revenues fall. Local businesses close. Government services get cut. And the people at the bottom of the income ladder get hurt first and hardest. That is how a national debt problem becomes a state-level collapse. And 5 states are already deep inside that spiral. Let's count them down. Section 3. Linda's story and state number 5, Mississippi. Before we get to number 5, I want you to meet Linda. Linda is 61 years old. She lives in Memphis, Tennessee. For 34 years, she worked as a hospital administrator. Not a flashy job, but a stable one. She owned her home. She made her mortgage payment every single month for 2 decades without missing once. Then her back gave out. She had to retire early. Her income went from $58,000 a year to $1,840 a month on Social Security. And between 2021 and 2024, her grocery bill went up 27%. Her utilities went up 22%. Her prescription costs, including insulin she needs to stay alive, climbed another 18%. The math stopped working, not because Linda changed, because everything around her did. In March 2024, Linda missed a mortgage payment for the first time in her life. Her credit score dropped 90 points in 24 hours. She called her bank. They told her she could apply for a hardship program, but she had to be 3 months behind first. 3 months behind. That is the requirement. To get help, you have to fail harder. A nonprofit credit counselor eventually helped her restructure, but she had to sell her car to do it. She now takes the bus to her medical appointments. I did everything right, Linda told us. I saved. I worked. I paid my taxes every year, and it still wasn't enough. Linda lives in Tennessee. Tennessee didn't even make our top 5. The states on this list are worse. Number 5, Mississippi. The median household income in Mississippi is $46,637, the lowest of any state in America. But the statistic that tells a real story is this one. According to the Urban Institute's 2023 debt landscape analysis, 44.1% of Mississippi residents, nearly half the state, have debt currently in collections, not just struggling with debt. Debt that has already gone to collections. That is a collector calling. That is a judgment. That is a garnished paycheck. When nearly half your population is in that position, local businesses stop getting customers. Sales tax revenue falls. The state cuts services. Schools get less funding. Roads go unrepaired. Emergency services get stretched. And the people left in Mississippi get poorer, not richer. It is a doom loop, and Mississippi has been trapped in it for years. If you are in Mississippi or any high default state, go to benefitscheckup.org. Millions of dollars in emergency aid go unclaimed every single year because people do not know they qualify. But as bad as Mississippi is, number 4 is somehow more alarming because this state used to be thriving. Section 4, state number 4, Louisiana. Louisiana has the second highest personal bankruptcy filing rate per capita in the entire United States. Let that sink in for a second. Out of 50 states, Louisiana is number 2 for people walking into a courthouse and legally declaring they cannot pay what they owe. But the bankruptcy rate is only the visible part of the problem. What is underneath it is what is truly terrifying. Louisiana state pension funds carry an unfunded liability of $18.2 billion. That is money legally owed to retired teachers, retired firefighters, retired police officers, and state workers. Money that does not exist. When a state pension fund runs low, it does not just hurt the retirees who earned it. It forces states to divert money from education, from infrastructure, from healthcare, just to service the pension obligation. It becomes a permanent drain on every other public budget line. Louisiana has also been devastated by repeated natural disasters, Katrina, Ida, a series of smaller storms that destroyed housing stock and displaced working-class families into rental markets they cannot afford. Insurance premiums in Louisiana rose 63% between 2020 and 2024. Many insurers have simply left the state entirely, leaving homeowners uninsured and unable to sell. Think about what that means for a family that has all their wealth tied up in a home they can no longer insure, in a state where the pension safety net is full of holes, and where the bankruptcy court is busier than almost anywhere else in the country. That is Louisiana in 2024. Louisiana residents. The Louisiana Housing Corporation offers emergency mortgage and rental assistance. Contact 211 Louisiana for a direct referral to aid programs in your parish. Now we are getting to the states that surprised us. Number 3 is a place that 5 years ago you would have called a success story. Section 5, Marcus's story in state number 3, Arizona. I want you to meet Marcus. Marcus is 38. He built a landscaping business in Phoenix, Arizona from the ground up. No investors, no loans, just him, his truck, and years of 7-day work weeks. By 2021, he had 6 employees and a waiting list of clients. When the Arizona housing market exploded, Marcus felt untouchable. He bought a second property in 2022, a rental investment, with a mortgage at 7.1%. He ran the numbers. The rental income would cover the mortgage with about $300 to spare each month. It seemed bulletproof. Then his landscaping contract started drying up as homeowners cut discretionary spending. Then his tenants stopped paying rent for 3 months, and Marcus couldn't legally evict fast enough because of the backlog in Arizona's courts. Then his rental income and business revenue both dropped by 30% in the same quarter. He called his bank, asked to renegotiate the second mortgage. Denied. He called again. Denied. He hired a housing attorney and called a third time. Denied. The second property went to foreclosure. A home he had put $47,000 into. Gone. Nobody talks about the small business owner, he told us. The guy who did every single thing the American dream told him to do, who worked harder than anyone I know, who still got wiped out. But here's the part of Marcus's story that matters most. He found Arizona's homeowner assistance fund before it was too late. He received $18,000 in emergency aid that saved his primary home, the house where his kids sleep. He lost the investment property, but he kept his family's roof. If you own a home and are behind on payments, go to housingiskey.com or search your state's name plus homeowner assistance fund. Billions of dollars in HAF money are still available, and most people have no idea. Number 3, Arizona. Marcus's story is happening thousands of times over across this state. According to Eviction Lab at Princeton University, eviction filings in Arizona rose 78% between 2021 and 2024. 78%. That is not a blip. That is a structural shift. Phoenix and Tucson specifically saw landlords filing evictions at rates not seen since the foreclosure crisis of 2008. The renters being evicted are not chronic non-payers. They are working people whose rent went up 40% in 3 years, while their wages went up 8%. Arizona also has a specific hidden crisis: medical debt. The state has one of the highest rates of uninsured residents in the Southwest, and medical debt is now the leading cause of personal bankruptcy filing statewide. When you can't pay a $14,000 emergency room bill, it does not go away. It goes to collections. It tanks your credit score. It follows you for 7 years. And it makes it nearly impossible to rent a new apartment, get a car loan, or rebuild. Arizona is a state that looked like a Sunbelt success story. Rapid growth, booming real estate, tech companies relocating. But underneath the surface, the working class was being hollowed out. And now the numbers are showing it. Number 2 is going to hit differently, because the state was supposed to be immune to this kind of collapse. Section 6, state number 2, Illinois. Number 2, Illinois. Illinois has the worst funded state pension system in the United States of America. Not one of the worst. The worst. Illinois pension funds are only 44.3% funded, meaning the state has less than half the money it needs to cover its legal obligations to retired state workers. The total unfunded liability is $211 billion. That figure comes from Moody's Analytics 2023. $211 billion. That is not a budget problem. That is a slow-motion financial implosion that has been building for decades. Here is why this directly affects every person living in Illinois, whether they are a state worker or not. Every dollar that goes towards servicing the pension debt is a dollar that cannot go to schools, to roads, to mental health services, to addiction treatment, to child welfare. The pension crisis is literally starving every other public function in the state, and the population of Illinois knows it. They are leaving. Net out migration from Illinois has exceeded 100,000 residents per year for the past several consecutive years. The people leaving are not wealthy retirees moving to Florida for the weather. They are working class and middle class families who cannot afford to stay in a state with rising taxes and declining services. When those families leave, they take their tax dollars with them, which means the remaining residents have to pay more, which pushes more people to leave. That is a spiral. Inside Chicago, the situation is even starker. 1 in 4 Chicago residents, 25% of the city, has medical debt currently in collections. Urban Institute 2023, 1 in 4, in one of the largest and wealthiest cities in America. 25% of people walking down Michigan Avenue are being chased by a medical debt collector. Illinois is not a poor state. Its GDP is nearly $1 trillion. It has world-class universities, a massive financial sector, a dominant agriculture industry. But it has been systematically mismanaged for so long that the financial dam is now cracking, and ordinary residents are standing directly downstream. Illinois residents. The Heartland Alliance and the Illinois Department of Human Services both offer emergency financial counseling and assistance programs. Search Illinois IDHS Emergency Assistance, or call 211 for a direct referral. Now, number 1. I want you to take a breath before I say this, because the name of the state is going to create immediate pushback in your brain. Your instinct is going to be to argue with me. I am asking you to hold that reaction for 90 seconds and let the numbers speak. Section 7. State number 1, California. California GDP is $3.9 trillion. If California were an independent country, it would be the 5th largest economy on the planet, larger than the United Kingdom, larger than India, larger than France. It is also collapsing for everyone who is not wealthy. 28.4% of California residents have subprime credit scores. That is Experian's 2024 Consumer Credit Review. Nearly 1 in 3 Californians, in the 5th largest economy on Earth, are considered high credit risk. The state budget deficit projected for 2025 is $73 billion. $73 billion. That number comes from California Legislative Analyst's Office, the state's own nonpartisan financial watchdog. Not a right-wing think tank, the state's own accountants. Homelessness in California increased 26% year over year. California is home to 12% of the U.S. population, but accounts for 28% of all homeless Americans. More than 1 in 4 homeless people in the entire country live in California. Net outmigration has run at over 500,000 residents per year since 2020. 500,000 people every year choosing to leave. And the data shows clearly who is leaving. Working class families, small business owners, teachers, nurses, tradespeople. The people who cannot afford to stay. The billionaires are fine. The tech executives are fine. The celebrity class is fine. The middle class is evaporating. And that is exactly what makes California number 1 on this list. Not because it is the poorest state. It is not. But because the distance between the headline story of California and the lived reality of California is the largest of any state in the country. And that gap is what is swallowing people alive. When nearly 30% of your population is subprime, when your budget is $73 billion in deficit, when your homelessness population has grown by more than a quarter in a single year, you are not a thriving economy. You are a failing one with exceptional marketing. Now I want to tell you about Rosa. Because Rosa is California in one story. Section 8. Rosa's story and the root cause. Rosa is 29 years old. She is a registered nurse in Los Angeles. During COVID, she worked 14-hour shifts in an ICU. She intubated patients who were drowning in their own lungs. She held up phones so people on ventilators could say goodbye to their families through a screen, because no visitors were allowed. She did not leave. She showed up every single day. She also graduated with $67,000 in student loan debt. Rosa earned $72,000 a year. In most of the United States, that is a solid, comfortable income. In Los Angeles in 2024, it is barely enough. Her rent is $2,400 a month. Her car insurance, utilities, and groceries eat another $900 before her student loan payment. She had roughly $1,600 left each month. Then the payment pause ended. Her income-driven repayment plan, before she found a better option, set her monthly loan payment at $780. After that payment, she had $820 left for the entire month. For everything else, she went 60 days late on 2 credit cards. Not because she was irresponsible, because there was $820, and there were needs that cost more than $820. I saved lives during a pandemic, she told us, her voice flat and tired. And I feel like the system is charging me interest for it. But Rosa found something that changed her situation. She applied for the Save Income-Driven Repayment Plan, a program tied to her income and family size. Her monthly payment dropped to $0. Legally, officially, zero, because her debt-to-income ratio qualified her. She is now rebuilding. Slowly, but rebuilding. If you have federal student loans, go to studentaid.gov and check your Save Plan eligibility today. Millions of borrowers qualify for dramatically reduced or even $0 monthly payments and have no idea the option exists. Linda, Marcus, Rosa, 3 different states, 3 different careers, 3 different age groups, 1 identical experience. The math stopped working for them, not because of anything they did wrong, but because of 3 forces that hit the entire country at once. Force 1. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates 525 basis points in 18 months, the fastest rate increase in 40 years. Every variable rate debt, credit cards, home equity lines, adjustable mortgages, got dramatically more expensive almost overnight. Force 2. Real wages are still 2.1% below 2021 levels after adjusting for inflation. That is Bureau of Labor Statistics data from May 2024. People are earning more dollars. Those dollars buy less. The gap has never fully closed. Force 3. The pandemic safety net was quietly dismantled. Emergency SNAP expansions ended. Rent relief programs expired. The expanded child tax credit, which was providing $300 to $600 per month to low-income families, was not renewed. For millions of people at the lower end of the income scale, that was the difference between making it and not making it. It disappeared without a replacement. 3 forces, landing simultaneously, on the same people, in the same states. And the result is what we are seeing now. So what do you actually do? Section 9, what you can do right now. 5 things. Concrete. You can start on any of them today. Number 1, call your creditor before you miss a payment. Not after, before. The CFPB's 2023 research found that 74% of lenders have active hardship programs, reduced interest rates, deferred payments, modified payment plans. They do not advertise these programs. You have to call and ask specifically. The words to use: I am experiencing financial hardship, and I would like to know what hardship programs are currently available on my account. Write that down, those exact words. Number 2, check your state's emergency housing funds. Most states still have active homeowner assistance fund money and emergency rental assistance dollars. Go to HUD.gov, enter your state, and find your local housing authority. This is real money. Billions of dollars are still sitting in these programs waiting to be claimed. Number 3, find a nonprofit credit counselor, not a debt settlement company. Debt settlement companies take a fee, wreck your credit further, and often make things worse. Nonprofit counselors, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, nfcc.org, are free or very low cost. They are legally on your side, and they can often negotiate directly with creditors in ways you cannot do alone. Number 4, know your federal student loan options. The SAVE plan, public service loan forgiveness, and standard income-driven repayment programs are all available at studentaid.gov. If you work for a nonprofit, a government agency, a hospital, or a school, you may qualify for complete forgiveness after 10 years of payments. Most people who qualify have never applied. Number 5, pull your credit report and look for errors. A 2024 Consumer Reports investigation found that 34% of Americans, 1 in 3, have at least one factual error on their credit report that is artificially lowering their score. You can dispute errors for free at annualcreditreport.com. Fixing one error can move your score 20, 30, even 50 points. That is the difference between qualifying for a loan and being denied. Between a 7% interest rate and a 12% interest rate, it matters enormously, and it costs nothing to check. None of these are magic, but all of them are real, and all of them exist specifically for moments like the one millions of Americans are living through right now. Here is what I want to leave you with. Linda is 61. She worked for 34 years and sold her car just to keep her house. Marcus is 38. He built a business from nothing, did exactly what he was supposed to do, and still lost half of what he built. Rosa is 29. She saved lives in a pandemic and spent 2 years going backward financially because of it. These are not edge cases. These are not cautionary tales about irresponsibility. These are statistically normal Americans living inside a system that is fracturing, and they are not the ones who broke it. The headlines will keep telling you the economy is strong. They are measuring the economy at the top. You are living it at the level where it actually affects daily life. Those are 2 completely different countries right now. So I want to ask you something directly And I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Are you currently choosing between two essential bills? Not whether things are tight. We all know things are tight. I mean, are you actively deciding which bill gets paid this month and which one doesn't? Yes or no? Tell me your state. Tell me your situation. Because when thousands of people answer that question in one place, it stops being a personal failure story and it starts being data. It becomes undeniable evidence that this is a systemic crisis, not a character flaw. Every comment gets read. Every story matters. And if this video told you something the evening news is not telling you, share it with one person, not for the algorithm, because Linda, Marcus, and Rosa deserve to have their story heard. And so do you.